Fidel Castro was a complex figure, revered by some and reviled by others. He began his journey as a revolutionary, fighting against the corruption and inequality that plagued Cuba under the regime of President Fulgencio Batista. His charisma and passion won him many followers, and in 1959 he led a successful rebellion, overthrowing Batista and establishing a communist regime. The early years of Castro's rule were marked by optimism and a sense of promise. He nationalized industries, redistributed land to peasants, and implemented social programs aimed at improving the lives of the poor. But his regime quickly became authoritarian, and dissent was brutally suppressed. The Bay of Pigs invasion in 1961, a failed attempt by the US to overthrow Castro, only strengthened his resolve to maintain power at all costs. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 was a turning point for Castro. His close alliance with the Soviet Union led to the installation of nuclear missiles on Cuban soil, bringing the world to the brink of nuclear war. While Castro saw this as a way to protect Cuba from US aggression, the crisis underscored the dangers of his uncompromising ideology. Throughout his rule, Castro's regime was marked by human rights abuses and the lack of basic freedoms for the Cuban people. Political dissidents were rounded up and executed, and the press was tightly controlled. Economic conditions worsened as the government's central planning failed to deliver on its promises. While some Cubans remained fiercely loyal to Castro, others lived in fear and desperation, dreaming of a better life. In his later years, Castro's health declined, and he stepped down from power, passing the baton to his brother Raúl. The once charismatic leader faded from public view, his legacy marred by his controversial actions and their negative impact on the people of Cuba. Looking back on Castro's life, it is difficult to reconcile the promise of his early years with the reality of his rule. While he undoubtedly had the best interests of Cuba at heart, his uncompromising ideology and willingness to use force to maintain power led to a regime that failed to deliver on its promises, and left a lasting legacy of human rights abuses and economic hardship. As the Cuban people continue to grapple with the aftermath of his rule, it is a sobering reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of basic human rights and freedoms.